Good evening, everybody. It's the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli on Georgia, Alabama. Sports Live, presented by Glenn Smith Chevy, GMC, Coca-Cola, Kinetic Credit Union, and Houston Clinic. I'm Paxton Holloway, and we have a very exciting volleyball matchup between the Lee Scott Academy Lady Warriors and the Pacelli Lady Vikings. Lee Scott, 9-3 coming into tonight. Their key players are Leighton Scott, Olivia Gibson, and Elliott Scott. Their only losses are to Prattville Christian Academy, Pike Road, and Montgomery Academy. Pacelli, 21-2 on the season so far. Their key players to watch, Malia Resnick, Shannon Menifee, and Anna Doe. Their only losses are both 2-1 against Central out of Montgomery and Midtown Academy. Pacelli's coming in ranked number 28 in the state of Georgia tonight. Lee Scott, likewise, ranked number 49 in Alabama, so this should be a high-powered matchup tonight. I want to extend a quick thank you to the Beck Center and Roger Beck for their support of Pacelli High School Athletics on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. The ladies are getting ready out there. The fans are ready. The liberos today for Pacelli's number 20, Allie Vickery, and for Lee Scott is number 1, Laney Payne. Starting with the serve for Pacelli is senior number 2, Anna Doe. And we're off. Malia Resnick was set up there. And that one's going to hit the net from Leighton Scott. Pacelli gets first point here in the first set. And Anna Doe is going to keep the serve. Whistle is blown. Looks like somebody might have either tapped the net or stepped underneath it. Regardless, that is Pacelli's point. Doe with the serve. That one's going to be hit in the stands there by number 6, Lila Ingram. Here's Doe. That one served on a line over there to Ingram. Set up for Scott. Resnick stops it. Doe sets up. Scott again. Vickery with the bump. The set by Doe. Set up. And that's going to be a point for Pacelli. Ellie Jane Hagg there on the spike. And point for Lee Scott. That was number 15, Avery Dunham. And checking in now for Lee Scott is number 14, Hayden Watley. Serving looks like Elliott Scott, number 13. Set up for Hagg, and she's going to get the point. Beautiful play there by Pacelli. That's going to send the superstar for the Vikings, Malia Resnick, to the line to serve. Puts a little bit too much juice on that one. Goes out of play. Lee Scott has ball right back in hand. Checking in now is number 3, Sarah Caroline Joyner. Vickery dives out. Resnick bumps it for Menifee. And that's a point for the Warriors. Number 14, Hayden Watley on that one. Or excuse me, number 4. Leighton Scott is the one serving right now for Lee Scott. Here's that serve. And that's an ace there for Leighton Scott, the senior. And just like that, Lee Scott is right back in it. Only down 4-5 right now in the first set. Here's Scott with the serve. Resnick with the bump. Goes sets for Menifee, and Menifee with the spike for Pacelli. Allie Vickery checking out now for number 24, Natalie Pillar. And that is the freshman serving right now, Samantha Sayambola. Here's that serve. And that was a close play there, but point is given to Pacelli. Looks like that one might have just hit the line. Sayambola with the serve. Hits the net. He's going to give the ball right back to Lee Scott. Heading back to serve is number 15, Avery Dunham. And Doe tries to make something out of that one. Can't come up with it though, so Lee Scott's going to get another point, and Dunham's going to keep the ball in her hands. Here's that serve. Doe sets up Menifee, and Menifee with a spike. Pacelli proving why they're ranked number 28 in the state of Georgia, as Ellie Jane Hagg gets the ace. Here's Hagg with the serve. Set up there for number 14, Hayden Watley, and she gets that point for the Warriors. Watley is going to sub out now for number 6. That is Lila Ingram. The senior for the Lady Warriors has ball in her hands to serve. Here is that serve. Bumped up by Hagg. Vickery bumps it, and Pillar is able to clear it. And with that spike and that point, she's going to get the serve. Here's Menifee. And Resnick's going to take advantage there. And I'll tell you, if you've ever watched these Pacelli Lady Vikings play, when they go up and spike, they hit the ball really hard. Here's Menifee. And a block by Pillar. Pacelli trying to extend their lead now. Score is 12-8 here in the first set. Here's Menifee. Cleared out there by Ingram. Doe sets up Pillar. Pillar's going to get the point for Pacelli. That's 2 in a row now from Natalie Pillar. First one off a block and that one off a spike. Menifee. Lee Scott tries their best to keep that one alive. To no avail, though. And timeout is going to be called, which means we're going to step away for a little break. We'll be right here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
At Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, our focus is you. Even though we performed more than 1,300 joint replacements last year, we treat you like you are our only patient. Your surgeon explains your joint replacement, so nothing is a surprise. Our team knows your treatment plan, and we work together to get you back on your feet again. That's why our hospital is recognized year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality of care. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Excellence, always.
Welcome back to the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live between the Pacelli Vikings and Lee Scott Academy Warriors. What a save by Lee Scott. Doe sets up Resnick, and Resnick hits the net. What a play there by Lee Scott. Brings the score 9 for the Warriors and 14 for the Vikings. Lee Scott's going to get that point. Here's that serve by the Warriors. Doe sets up Resnick, and Resnick with the spike. Serving now for Pacelli is number 24, Natalie Pillar. That one just goes out. She's going to come out for the libero, number 20, Allie Vickery. And serving now for Pacelli is their libero, number 1, Lainey Payne. Here's that serve. That one hit a little bit too hard there. I'm going to give the ball right back to the Vikings. And send Anna Doe, the senior captain, to the line to serve. If you're not already doing so, fans, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. As that one is going to go right back to Lee Scott. Subbing in now is number 14, Hayden Watley. Back to serve is number 13, Elliott Scott. That one's going to go out of bounds, so playing a game of hot potato now. Switching the ball back and forth. And back to serve now for the Lady Vikings is number 7, Malia Resnick. Lee Scott keeps that one alive. Doe sets up Sayambola, and Sayambola's going to get the spike. What effort, though, by Lee Scott to keep that one alive. Some great plays over there. Resnick keeps the ball in her hand, though. Here's that serve. That one hit a little bit too hard. Going to give the ball back to the Lee Scott Academy Lady Warriors. And with that, serving now is number 4, Leighton Scott. And subbing in is number 3, Sarah Caroline Joyner. Here's that serve from Scott. Vickery's able to do something with it. Not much more than that, though. Point goes to the Warriors. And Leighton Scott's going to keep the ball in her hand. Here's that serve. That one on the line. Doe sets up Menifee, and Menifee's just going to tip it on over. Great play there by Shannon Menifee. Looks like Pillar's going to come in now for Vickery. And serving is the freshman Sayambola. Here's that serve. And bumped over there by Sarah Caroline Joyner, and that's going to end up in a point. Coming in now for Lee Scott is number 7, Olivia Gibson. Serving is number 15. That's Avery Dunham. She hits the net, so points go into Pacelli. And now serving for Pacelli is Allie Jane Hack. She hits the net. Another substitution there for the Warriors. And serving now is number 6, Lila Ingram, the senior. Here's that serve by Ingram. Beautiful one. Hag plays it great, though. And Menifee set up. Ingram with the stop. Doe sets up. Resnick. Resnick hits the top of the net. And the point goes to Lee Scott. 16-19 is your score here in the first set. That is Lila Ingram serving for the Warriors. Vickery hits that one into the stands. Menifee tries to do something with it. Nobody there, though, on the rebound. Lee Scott closing that gap there. Here's Lila Ingram. That one hits the net. And Pacelli now has reached 20 points here in the first set. Just needs 5 more to win it. Menifee has the serve for the Vikings. Here it is. That one's cleared. Hag, Doe, Menifee. And Menifee's going to get the score. Just been tearing up this first set so far, has Shannon Menifee. Here's the serve. And the libero there clears it. That is Lainey Payne. That one's tipped over, and Payne keeps it alive. Doe setting up Resnick. That one's just hit a little bit too hard by Sarah Caroline Joyner, but great volley there between those two teams. Hard spike there by number 4. That's Layton Scott. Another hard spike by Shannon Menifee, but that one goes a little bit too long. Substitution now. In comes number 11, Jody Fuller, and she's going to be serving for the Warriors. Here's that serve. Doe trying to keep it alive, moves the scores table a little bit. Menifee, though, ends up getting the point for Pacelli. What a heads-up play there by the senior Anna Doe. It's going to send Allie Vickery back to serve. And Resnick's there just to knock it down. Pacelli now just needs one more point to win this first set. This one's been a tight matchup, though, as expected. Here's Vickery. Hits that one real hard. And Layton Scott keeps this first set alive for Lee Scott. Back to serve now is Lainey Payne. And Avery Dunham just checked in for the Warriors. Here's that serve by Payne. She gets it over and gets the point. So Lady Warriors now just down 4 here in this first set. Here's Payne. Ellie Jane Hag hits that one up. Resnick gets the winning point in the first set for Pacelli. Pacelli now up 1-0. We're going to step away for a second. Be sure to stay with us here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live for set number 2.
Are you looking for a powerful new Chevrolet or GMC truck and a great deal? Check them out side by side at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Take your choice of new Chevrolet and GMC 1500 trucks discounted up to $12,000 off. Chevy and GMC heavy-duty trucks discounted up to $7,000 off. People from all over the USA save at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. Get ready to smile.
Imagine making your dreams a reality, achieving your goals and aspirations, and having a financial partner that understands your dreams never sleep. At Kinetic Credit Union, we're more than just a bank. We're 40,000 members strong with local service, personal connections, and a nationwide network. Leading-edge technology to help you make financial decisions easier, smarter, and safer. We are Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Welcome back, everybody, to set number 2 of the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I'd like to send a special thank you to our presenting sponsors over at Glenn Smith Chevy, GMC, Coca-Cola, Kinetic Credit Union, and Houston Clinic. Also another thank you to Roger Beck and the Beck Center for their support of Pacelli High School athletics here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Getting set to start set number 2 here. Pacelli just took the first one. In case you missed it, Pacelli is ranked number 28 in the entire state of Georgia. Likewise, Lee Scott is ranked number 49 in the entire state of Alabama. 25-20 was the score of the first set, so very exciting matchup we have here on our hands. And fans, if you're not doing so already, go ahead and toss us a follow on your favorite social media platform at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Lee Scott has a 9-3 record right now. And Pacelli, 21-2. Very impressive. Of course, Pacelli is led by their big three in Malia Resnick, Shannon Menifee, and Anna Doe. Looks like things are getting set to start set number 2 here. Hey, be sure to stick around at the end of the game. We are going to be naming our Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the game. And the story of set number 1 for the Vikings, Shannon Menifee. Great serves, great spikes. Couple of blocks, couple of good setups. Lee Scott is going to start with the serve. That is number 13, Elliott Scott, sophomore. And we're all set for set number 2. Here we go. That's Hag, that's Vickery, and that's Resnick. Huge spike right there for the first point for Lee Scott. That is number 14, Hayden Watley. Sent that one to the corner pocket. Almost impossible to do anything with. That is going to keep the ball in Elliott Scott's hands. Menifee sets for Doe. Doe sets up Resnick, and Resnick's going to get that point. Jody Fuller for Lee Scott tried to dive out, keep that one alive, but Resnick hit it a little bit too hard. Sends Doe to the line to serve. That's number 4, Leighton Scott, the senior. She's going back to serve now. And for Jody Fuller comes Sarah Caroline Joyner. Here's Leighton Scott with the serve. Doe sets up. Hag, what a block at the net. Not blocking that one, though. Resnick hits that one with some force. I'm interested to know what the velocity was on that thing. Something like that hit the ground within the blink of an eye. Malia Resnick now to serve. Lee Scott calls out, but Leighton Scott saves it. It looked like that one was going to go out of bounds, just a little bit too long, but Resnick saved by Lee Scott. She's going to keep ball in her hands. That was Joyner. She's going to clear it. Resnick bumps it up for Doe. Doe sets up Hag, and Ellie Jane Hag is going to get the point for the Vikings. And this is the Viking specialty. This is what they love to do. They love to get going early, get out in front, take a big enough lead, and then maintain it throughout the rest of the set. Here's Resnick. And that's going to be another point for the Vikings. Extends the score 5-2. Still real early on here in set number 2. Lee Scott looking to get the ball out of Resnick's hands right now. Here's the serve. And Resnick's on a tear, just hitting him on a line. Real hard to do anything with it. Here's Resnick with that serve. Floats that one. Looks like she might have caught Lee Scott a little bit off guard there. The Lady Warriors are going to call a timeout. We're going to step away. We'll be right back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Welcome back to set number 2 of the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Presented by Coca-Cola, Glenn Smith Chevy, GMC, Kinetic Credit Union, and Houston Clinic. Resnick with the ball still in her hands. That one's set up for Joyner. Joyner. Doe sets up Hag. And the ball kind of bounces around. But Lee Scott's unable to do anything with it. Resnick right now is dominant in set number 2. Still early on. Pacelli's up 8-2. Here's that serve. And that's a lot of what she's been doing is just serving him down. But Lee Scott's able to get the point. Great heads-up play just to hit that one into no man's land and get the ball in their hands. Back to serve is number 15, Avery Dunham. Floats that one up. Resnick sets it, nobody. Little miscommunication there on the Vikings side. Great serve there by Dunham. Put a little bit behind that one. Here she is again. Menifee. And that one's set up perfectly for Olivia Gibson, the junior. And you can tell when she went up with a purpose. Like a shark that smelled blood in the water. Doe sets up Menifee. That one's blocked. That one's stuffed at the net there. That's Olivia Gibson again. Olivia Gibson feeling confident after those two plays. And Lee Scott is now cut into that lead. It's only 6-8 now. Vickery unable to do anything. Score now 7-8. Avery Dunham, great serving job right now. That one, she hits down at the ground, and that's an ace for Dunham. Dunham with the serve, little miscommunication. Menifee keeps it alive. Sayambola clears. Set up for Gibson. Why not feed the hot hand? There's Menifee. That one's kept alive there by Dunham. Ellie Jane Hagg clears that one. Great volley we got going on right now. Incredible volley we got going on right now. Here's Menifee. That one's still alive. Joyner clears it. Resnick, Doe, Menifee unable to make up a decision and hits the net. What an incredible possession there by both teams. And Lee Scott now is taking the lead 9-8. Menifee hits the stick. Scores now 10-8. Just like I was saying for Malia Resnick with her serve right now. Pacelli just needs to get the ball out of Avery Dunham's hands. She's on fire. Sayambola sets up Hagg, and that one's going to hit the top of the net. And who else other than Olivia Gibson was right there to block it? Pacelli's going to have to call a timeout. We're going to step away for a second. We'll be right back in set number 2 of the Beck Center Game of the Week on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live.
At Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, our focus is you. Even though we performed more than 1,300 joint replacements last year, we treat you like you are our only patient. Your surgeon explains your joint replacement, so nothing is a surprise. Our team knows your treatment plan, and we work together to get you back on your feet again. That's why our hospital is recognized year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality of care. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Excellence, always.
Welcome back to set number 2. And ladies and gentlemen, Lee Scott has taken the lead now by 3 against the Pacelli Lady Vikings. Score is 11-8 here in the second set. Menifee clears that one. That one's set up for Joyner. Joyner goes up, hits it hard, but unable to get it across the net there. And Pacelli with a much-needed point, and now possession. Sayambola looking to get them back even here in this set. Here's that serve by Sayambola. She's going to clear that one. That one's set up for Gibson. And cleared there by Scott. Hagg hits it hard. Nothing doing though. Set up for Leighton Scott. Menifee tries to tip it over. And Gibson looking to put it in no man's land. Hagg trying to catch him off guard. Or Pillar, excuse me. Doe sets that one over. Joyner clears it and is going to sneak it in the corner pocket for the Lee Scott Academy. Lady Warriors point. That was an incredible hit there by Sarah Caroline Joyner, hitting it behind her, just sneaking it in. And that one is blocked by Gibson again. Serving now is number 6, Lila Ingram. And Lee Scott trying to come back after that loss in set number 1. Resnick bumps it to Doe. Doe to Menifee. That one's blocked at the line, but Menifee recovers. And just a little bit too much there for Lee Scott. Great play there by Menifee to stay in it. Pacelli now down 10-13 here in set number 2. That is Ellie Jane Hagg back to serve. Sets up Layton Scott. Doe sets up Menifee, and that one was hard and blocked at the net. Just went out of bounds. And kudos to Olivia Gibson for even jumping up and trying to block that. I know I wouldn't. Ellie Jane Hagg hits that one out. And so the ball's going to go right back to Lee Scott. Substitution. Sarah Caroline Joyner's coming out for number 11, Jody Fuller, to serve. Fuller just a sophomore. Here's that serve. Vickery dives out and saves it. Resnick's able to clear it and get the point for Pacelli. Great diving out play to keep it alive by Allie Vickery for the Vikings. That's going to send Shannon Menifee to the line to serve. Sets up Layton Scott. Menifee's going to keep that one alive. Doe sets up Resnick, and Resnick gets the point. And Pacelli trying to lean on their power 2 up there at the line, and Menifee and Resnick. Here is Menifee. That one's going to hit the line, or the net, excuse me. Lee Scott now up 15-13 in set number 2. Just lost by 5 points in set 1. And serving now is Lainey Payne, their libero. Doe sets up for Resnick. Resnick's going to clear that one. Sets up Layton Scott. And Resnick gets the point. Layton Scott there on Lee Scott Academy hits one hard. But then Resnick says, I'll do you one better. Gets the point. Pacelli now down just 14-15. Natalie Pillar is now serving. Floats that one to Payne. And she set up Avery Dunham, but she hit it just a little bit too hard. So now back to square one here in set number 2 at 15 apiece. Natalie Pillar with the serve. Floats another one. Sets up Layton Scott. She hits that one hard. Menifee gets down on one knee to save it. Resnick, yet again, same story. Layton Scott spikes one, and then Resnick does it right back. Pacelli is now taking the lead 16-15. Number 24, Natalie Pillar, still serving. Sets up Scott, and Scott's going to get that one. It was only a matter of time. Pillar now coming out for Allie Vickery. And now serving for Lee Scott Academy is number 13, Elliott Scott. She gets that one on the line, kind of knuckleballs it. Set up for Resnick. Resnick tries to tip it over, unable to do so. Was afraid she might have stepped over the line or hit the net. So that one falls down, and Lee Scott's taking the lead right back. 17-16 is the score. Elliott Scott with the serve. Hits the net. But things are even right back up at 17 now. And that sends Anna Doe to the line to serve. That one's going to hit off the fingertips of Payne. And Pacelli now up 18-17. Here's Doe with that serve. That one set up and hit hard. That was Leighton Scott. Who else? Sarah Caroline Joyner now coming in for the Warriors. And Leighton Scott now back to serve. Hits that one a little bit too hard. Soars it past. And so now Malia Resnick behind the line to serve for Pacelli. Here's that serve by Resnick. And that one's a little bit long. Back and forth action here in set number 2. Real close, tied at 19 right now. And serving is number 15, Avery Dunham. Menifee with the bump. Doe sets her right back up for the spike. That one's going to be cleared by Leighton Scott. Vickery sets up Resnick. Resnick set up for Joyner. Just hits off her fingertips. Looks like she might have jumped a little bit early. Points going to Pacelli, and Pacelli now up 20-19. Vickery's going to come in for Sayambola to serve. And here's Vickery. And that one's out of bounds. Subbing in now is number 6, Lila Ingram, the senior. She's serving. Had a few great serves tonight. That's one of them. Resnick able to save that one. Doe sets up Hag. And nothing doing for Lee Scott. So Ellie Jane Hagg's going to get that point for Pacelli and extend the lead 21-20. She also has the ball in her hands to serve. That one hit hard. The ref is blowing it dead there. Looks like it hit the ground just a little bit. Great effort, though, by Resnick. Coming in now is number 11, Jody Fuller. (21-21) is your score here in set number 2. Reminder, Pacelli did take set 1. Doe sets up Menifee. That one set up for Leighton Scott. And she's going to get another point for Lee Scott Academy. And she's been on fire so far for the Lady Warriors. And a timeout's called. Score right now is 22-21 Lee Scott. They are still serving. We'll be right back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Imagine making your dreams a reality, achieving your goals and aspirations, and having a financial partner that understands your dreams never sleep. At Kinetic Credit Union, we're more than just a bank. We're 40,000 members strong with local service, personal connections, and a nationwide network. Leading-edge technology to help you make financial decisions easier, smarter, and safer. We are Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Welcome back to set number 2 here for the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Pacelli took set number 1, 25-20. Right now, though, Lee Scott looking to take set number 2, up 22-21. Doe sets up Menifee. Menifee with a hard spike. And just out of reach for Payne there. So things are right back even. 22 apiece right now here in set 2. Menifee now has ball in her hands. Served by Menifee. Floats one. That one set up for Leighton Scott, who's just been having a killer set. Is going to continue. And gives the Warriors the lead right back. That sends Lainey Payne back to serve. That one hit too hard by Payne. So things right back even, 23 apiece. Natalie Pillar comes in for Vickery to serve. And here's Pillar. Floats one shallow. Great way to keep it alive there. Go sets up Resnick. Resnick jumps a little bit too early, unable to get to it. It looks like Vickery's going to come right back in. Now serving is Elliott Scott. She's going to look to get this point and take set number 2 for the Lee Scott Academy Warriors. Here's that serve. Hag to Doe to Resnick. Resnick says no. We're going to 26. Anna Doe now back to serve. Here's that serve. Doe sets up Resnick, and Resnick. Lee Scott keeps it alive. That was Leighton Scott there. And Resnick puts just a tad too much on it. Just hits it out. So now Lee Scott has another opportunity to win it, the set right here. And that's Leighton Scott. She's been absolutely on fire. She serves that one down and gets the ace to win it. Who else other than Leighton Scott to take set number 2? And ladies and gentlemen, we are now back even, one set apiece for both of these teams. We're going to step away. We'll be right back with more action in set number 3 here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Are you looking for a powerful new Chevrolet or GMC truck and a great deal? Check them out side by side at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Take your choice of new Chevrolet and GMC 1500 trucks discounted up to $12,000 off. Chevy and GMC heavy-duty trucks discounted up to $7,000 off. People from all over the USA save at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. Get ready to smile.
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
At Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, our focus is you. Even though we performed more than 1,300 joint replacements last year, we treat you like you are our only patient. Your surgeon explains your joint replacement, so nothing is a surprise. Our team knows your treatment plan, and we work together to get you back on your feet again. That's why our hospital is recognized year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality of care. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Excellence, always.
Imagine making your dreams a reality, achieving your goals and aspirations, and having a financial partner that understands your dreams never sleep. At Kinetic Credit Union, we're more than just a bank. We're 40,000 members strong, with local service, personal connections, and a nationwide network. Leading edge technology to help you make financial decisions easier, smarter, and safer. We are Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glenn Smith Chevy GMC, Coca-Cola, Kinetic Credit Union, and Houston Clinic. Deadlock now. 1-1 between the Pacelli Lady Vikings and the Lee Scott Academy Lady Warriors. We knew this one would be an exciting matchup coming into it. That last set, number 2, was absolutely incredible. Lee Scott hung on to win it 26-24. Pacelli won the first set 25-20. Pacelli is going to start with the serve in set number 3. And Anna Doe has it in her hands. Here's that serve. Layden Scott looking to carry over the fire she caught in set number 2 here in set number 3, but Ellie Jane Hagg says no. Pacelli takes first point. Oh, and almost a great save there by the Warriors. Unable to clear it, though. Great effort out there by number 13, Elliott Scott, there at the net. Here's Anna Doe with the serve. Scott sets up, and that one's blocked by Ellie Jane Hagg. Anna Doe with the serve. Set up for Layden Scott, and that one looks like it's going to sneak into the corner pocket. Lila Ingram, subs out for number 14, Hayden Watley, and serving now is number 13, that is Elliott Scott. And what a play by Doe there. But Lee Scott was right there to bump it right back over the net to where nobody else was. Here's Elliott Scott with the serve. Resnick bumps it up. Vickery makes a great play to keep it alive. Cleared by Hagg. And Resnick is right there at the net to knock it down. Pacelli has the lead early here, 4-2. And here's Malia Resnick with the serve. Ellie Jane Hagg is able to keep that one in. Just about hits it out, but was able to keep it in bounds there for the Pacelli Vikings point. Served by Resnick. Doe sets up Sayambola, and the freshman goes up and takes that one. And this is shades of what just happened in set number 2. Pacelli takes an early big lead, and then Lee Scott came right back. Resnick floats that one. Now serving for the Lady Warriors is Layton Scott, number 4. As I mentioned, she was on fire in set number 2. And knocked down at the net by number 15, Avery Dunham. And Layton Scott going to look to get Lee Scott right back in it. Serves that one down. Doe sets up Menifee. Menifee places it in the perfect spot. Vickery's going to step out for Natalie Pillar. Cyan Bola now is serving. Great dive. That was Layton Scott there, and Sarah Caroline Joyner clears that. Menifee goes way up and gets that one. Scott tried to dive out and grab that, but Menifee hit it a little bit too hard, and Sayambola is going to keep the ball in her hands. Scores 8-4 right now, Pacelli. And a great little play there. And that one's just going to land out of bounds. Great effort, though, there at the net by the entire Lee Scott team. Sayambola sets up for Dunham. Sayambola dives out, but nobody's able to get that one. Score is now 5-9. And Avery Dunham now is serving for the Lady Warriors. This was who got them the bulk of their points early on last time. A little bit of controversy now. Looked into me from where I'm sitting. Line judge called it out. Well, we got a little break. Go ahead and toss us a follow on every social media platform at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Ultimately, the point was rewarded to Lee Scott. Like I said, that one did look inbounds to me. Avery Dunham. Resnick. Menifee is going to clear that. Set up. Olivia Gibson had a stellar performance in set number 2. That one hit hard by Layton Scott. Cleared. Sets up for Joyner, and miscommunication there is going to cost Lee Scott the point. Coming in now for Ellie Jane Hagg is the sophomore Mariah O'Brien. Here's O'Brien. And point, Lee Scott. In comes Lila Ingram, the senior. And what a great serve there by Ingram. Lee Scott now down just 2. Scores 8-10 here in set number 3. Here's Ingram. O'Brien. Doe. Menifee. Sets up for Joyner. Joyner hits it. It was blocked at the net, though, by Doe and Natalie Pillar. Resnick tips it over into no man's land. Right in the middle of the floor. A great heads-up play there by Resnick to get the point. And get the ball right back in Pacelli's hands. Menifee now has the serve. Scott sets up, and it looks like Olivia Gibson just hit the net. Pacelli now trying to extend their lead, up 12-8 right now. Served by Menifee. Set up by Scott. Right back to Gibson. Gibson hits that one hard. Resnick makes an effort to get there. She does. Vickery's able to clear it. Gibson right back to her. Pacelli unable to do anything with that one, though. And Lee Scott now has the ball in their hands. And in comes Jody Fuller, the sophomore. Doe's just going to tip that one right over the net. Vickery's coming out. Looks like for Sayambola. And Natalie Pillar now back to serve for the Vikings. There's Pillar. And Lila Ingram was unable to do anything off the serve there. So point goes to Pacelli. 14-9 is your score here in set number 3. Here's Pillar. And that one just lands in bounds there. Another real close play there at the line, but it did land in. Pillar floats one. Layton Scott bumps it up. Resnick set up, and it's going to get the point. Looks like Elliott Scott and Olivia Gibson got a piece of it, but were unable to block it completely. Timeout is called by the Warriors, so we're going to step aside. We'll be right back in set 3 here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And welcome back, everybody, to the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glenn Smith Chevy GMC, Coca-Cola, Kinetic Credit Union, and Houston Clinic. Got some more set 3 action here. It is tied 1-1 right now, 1-1 between the Pacelli Lady Vikings and Lee Scott Academy Lady Warriors. That serve did go out of bounds by Natalie Pillar, so that's going to send Miss Lainey Payne back to serve for the Warriors. Vickery dives out. She did get it over the net, just was a little bit out of bounds. Lee Scott looking to get back into this set here. Only down 11-16. Great serve by Payne. Resnick, Doe, back to Resnick. And the back judge says that it did land in bounds. Yet another close play. Mariah O'Brien is going to sub out now for Ellie Jane Hagg. And that is going to send Anna Doe back to serve. And a block there by Layton Scott. She has been playing her heart out for Lee Scott so far. Had an incredible set number 2. We've already called her names quite a few times here in set number 3. That was Elliott Scott serving there. Hagg clears it and is going to sneak it in the pocket. Back to serve now is Malia Resnick for the Lady Vikings. Your score 18-12 so far. Layton Scott hits that one. Vickery sets up Doe. Doe to Menifee. Menifee tries to sneak one in. That one's just going to be cleared there. That was Hayden Watley. Menifee ultimately able to get the score there. That's going to extend the lead 19-12 here in set number 3 for the Pacelli Vikings. Malia Resnick is going to keep ball in hand. Here's that serve from Resnick. Floats one. Elliott Scott sets up Layton. Layton Scott hits the water bottles over there on the sideline. Here's Resnick with that serve. Menifee Great way to catch a piece of it there from Lee Scott. And Lee Scott's going to get the point there. Great job up front there by number 14, Hayden Watley, and number 15, Avery Dunham. In comes Sarah Caroline Joyner. And serving now is Leighton Scott, number 4. And she's going to hit the net. That ball's going to go right back to Pacelli. Pillar is subbing in now for Vickery. They've been subbing in and out for each other all game. Sayambola, the freshman, now to serve. I won't say it way up in the air for Joyner. Joyner unable to get anything going. Sayambola is going to look to finish this set out for Pacelli. Scores 22-13 right now. Here's that serve. Great job by Payne to keep that one alive. Set up for Leighton Scott. Doe sets up Resnick. Resnick. And that one's hit hard there by Hayden Watley. Pacelli did catch a piece of it, but weren't able to block the whole thing. Sayambola comes out now. Vickery's back in. And back to serve is number 15. That's Avery Dunham. Menifee sneaks one, but is out of bounds, says the line judge. So Pacelli now got some work to do to come back here in set number 3, but not impossible. Here's Avery Dunham with the serve. Doe sets up Menifee. Menifee sneaks one. Great job by Joyner there. That one's hit really hard. Sets it right back up, and that's a spike and a point there by Leighton Scott. Doe sets up Menifee, and Menifee's going to sneak that one in. No question about that one. Extends the lead now, 23-16 for Pacelli. And Ellie Jane Hagg's going to sub out for Mariah O'Brien. O'Brien now is going to have the serve, just a sophomore. Great serve there by O'Brien. Doe sets up Menifee, and Menifee hits that one with some purpose. Now Pacelli now just 1 point shy of going up 2-1 here in this best-of-5 game. Here's the serve from O'Brien, looking to do it herself. Resnick keeps it alive. O'Brien's able to clear it. Vickery hits it up in the air, but it's out of bounds. Some great plays there by Pacelli, but nothing doing. Now coming in is number 6, Lila Ingram, to serve for the Warriors. Down 17-24, got to go perfect from here on out to stay alive in this set. And that's going to do it for set number 3. Pacelli's going to take it, 25-17. We're going to step away right quick in between sets. We'll be right back with more action in the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Imagine making your dreams a reality, achieving your goals and aspirations, and having a financial partner that understands your dreams never sleep. At Kinetic Credit Union, we're more than just a bank. We're 40,000 members strong, with local service, personal connections, and a nationwide network. Leading edge technology to help you make financial decisions easier, smarter, and safer. We are Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Are you looking for a powerful new Chevrolet or GMC truck and a great deal? Check them out side by side at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Take your choice of new Chevrolet and GMC 1500 trucks discounted up to $12,000 off. Chevy and GMC heavy duty trucks discounted up to $7,000 off. People from all over the USA save at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. Get ready to smile.
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glenn Smith Chevy GMC, Coca-Cola, Kinetic Credit Union, and Houston Clinic. The Pacelli Lady Vikings have taken a 2-1 lead over the Lee Scott Academy Warriors. So far, Malia Resnick and Shannon Menifee putting on a show right now. Another great name that has been just performing amazing for the Vikings is none other than Ellie Jane Hagg, the junior. Been a dominant force up there at the line, getting a couple blocks. On the Lee Scott Academy side, Leighton Scott, so far the story for the Warriors. Just having an incredible night. Pacelli did take set number one. That score was 25-20. And then Lee Scott came right back and won set number two, 26-24. And then that one, 25-17 Pacelli. Lee Scott now has to win the next two to win the game. Pacelli's going to look to hang on and walk away with their 22nd win of the season. That serve by Elliott Scott did hit the net, so the first point is going to go to Pacelli. And serving first is Anna Doe, the senior. There's that serve. That was Leighton Scott with the spike there. Ellie Jane Hagg. Leighton Scott, a little bit too much. Hits it past that back line there, and Anna Doe now is going to have the ball back in her hand. Here's the serve. And a great block at the net by the freshman Samantha Sayambola. She's going to be special for a long time here for the Vikings. Here's Doe. That was Dunham that cleared it. Resnick gets it over the net, just hits it out of bounds, though. Trying to sneak it in. In comes Sarah Caroline Joyner. And serving now for the Warriors is Leighton Scott, number 4. Here's that serve. Goes down low, did Vickery. Resnick. Sayambola with another block at the net. The ball is going to be back in Pacelli's hands. And Malia Resnick now has the serve. Joyner was set up, and that one hits the net. Pacelli with a 5-1 lead here early in set number 3. Resnick with the serve, floats one. Joyner's able to clear it. Sets up for Shannon Menifee. Payne hits it up to Scott to Joyner. Great heads-up play there by Hag to be there. She spikes one. Lee Scott's able to clear. Doe sets up Menifee, and the block. Great efforts there by Hayden Watley and Avery Dunham. Those two have been a force to be reckoned with up there at the net. And Avery Dunham is now back to serve. She's a senior. Hag's going to clear that one. Sets up for Olivia Wilson, and Wilson's going to get the point. Or Gibson, excuse me. Olivia Gibson. She's another big factor up there at the net for the Warriors. Resnick clears that. Gibson just tips it on over. Hag spikes. That one was Watley. Menifee's going to clear that one. Joyner. Doe. Menifee hits that one hard. Lee Scott's keeping that alive. There's Joyner. And Joyner is going to get the point. So Avery Dunham is going to keep the ball in her hand to serve. Tries to keep it alive. Does Leighton Scott. Unable to do so. Pacelli is going to get the ball back to serve, and Samantha Sayambola is now back. This is a matchup between two teams that are ranked in the top 50 in their respective states. Served by Sayambola. That was Leighton Scott. Resnick does a great job to hit that one up for Doe. Menifee comes in with the kill. Moves the score now 7-4 Pacelli. Here's the serve from Sayambola, and that one is floated out of bounds. In comes Lila Ingram to serve. Here's a serve from Ingram. Vickery dives out and saves it. Resnick's going to clear. Sets up for Olivia Gibson, and Gibson makes sure that Lee Scott's going to walk away with that point. Score here in set number 4 is 6-7. Lila Ingram's going to just hit the top of the net there. So Pacelli now is going to take an 8-6 lead. And that's Ellie Jane Hag going back to serve now. Served by Hag. That was Leighton Scott, and Leighton Scott's going to get the point. In comes Jody Fuller to serve now. Here's the serve. And Natalie Pillar's going to come in and sneak that one. Moves the score 9-7 for the Vikings, and Shannon Menifee going back now to serve. Here's Menifee. Lee Scott tries to save it back there, unable to though. Menifee keeps the ball now. Here's that serve. Sets up Olivia Gibson. Straight to Vickery though. Menifee. That's Olivia Gibson diving out. Hag and Doe both dove out to try to keep that one alive, but Pacelli unable to clear it. It's going to move the score 8-10 now. And serving is Lainey Payne. Resnick goes way up and slams it way down for the Pacelli point. Vickery now is going to sub out for Sayambola. And Natalie Pillar is going to go back to serve now for the Lady Vikings. That's Leighton Scott, and my goodness gracious. That might have been the hardest hit ball I've ever seen. And even more than that, she got the point out of it. Serving was Elliott Scott there. And the point goes to Lee Scott off the spike by Avery Dunham. Just puts it in the perfect spot there. Moves the score now 10-11. Resnick, great heads-up play there. Doe's going to clear it. And blocked out the net by Resnick and Sayambola. However, Lee Scott is able to clear that. Doe sets up Resnick. Resnick goes up and is going to get the point. Moves the score now to 12-10 for the Vikings. Now serving is Doe. Leighton Scott. And there she is again, folks. Leighton Scott. She's going to go back to serve now is Scott. And Sarah Caroline Joyner just came into the game for the Warriors. Down 11-12 is Lee Scott. Not now, though. It is tied back up, 12-12 off that serve by Leighton Scott. There's the serve by Scott. Set up for Hag. Hag's going to get the point. And these two teams are definitely showing why they are ranked inside of the top 50 in both of their respective states. Lee Scott in Alabama and Pacelli in Georgia. Great play there by Vickery. And that one's blocked, but out of bounds. That duo of Hayden Watley and Avery Dunham on the Warriors side is absolutely deadly. That one just out of bounds, though. Sends Resnick back to serve. That one's going to be just a little bit too hard, so the ball's going to go right back to Lee Scott. And in comes Olivia Gibson. Serving now is Avery Dunham. Menifee's able to sneak that one into the pocket. And Samantha Sayambola now serving. Natalie Pillar enters the game for Allie Vickery. That one goes out of bounds. That's served by Sayambola does. Now in comes Lila Ingram. Here's that serve from Ingram. That one's too much juice. Hit a little bit too hard. Ellie Jane Hagg now serving for the Vikings. Up 16-14 here in set number 4. And she's going to float that one out of bounds. Lee Scott looking to stay alive here. Tied up 2-2 and force set number 5. Serving now is number 11, Jody Fuller. She keeps that one in. Doe's able to get to it. And Vickery clears it. And Leighton Scott goes way up to get that one. Ties it up now, 16 apiece here in set number 4. Served by Fuller. That's Menifee, and Menifee says, I'm going to go one up on you. Looks like between Menifee, Resnick, and Leighton Scott, they're trying to see who can hit the ball harder. Here's Menifee with the serve. Great save there by Payne. Sets up Resnick, and Resnick gets the point off the tip at the net. Score is now 18-16 here in set 4. Menifee. That one goes behind him. Pacelli now trying to pull away and end this one. Lee Scott trying to get the ball back in their possession. Here's Menifee with the serve. Great job by Leighton Scott there. Resnick tried to sneak that one back. Unable to do so. Vickery dives out. Set up to Resnick. Resnick clears. And that one's tipped over by Leighton Scott. Great play at the net. Laney Payne now serving. That one's just going to be cleared, and that's Avery Dunham. Laney Payne's going to keep the ball in her hands now. Resnick, Doe, Pillar. Doe sets up Resnick, and Resnick spikes it hard down for the 20th point here in set number 4 for the Vikings. Score is now 20-18, and that's going to send number 24, Natalie Pillar, back to serve. That one's hit hard there by Avery Dunham, and that's going to result in the 19th point for the Lady Warriors. Looks like Lila Ingram's coming out, and in comes Hayden Watley. Now serving is Elliott Scott. Served by Scott. And that's an ace by Elliott Scott. We're all tied up at 20 apiece here in set number 4. Pacelli is up 2-1, so Lee Scott, this is a must-win set for them. Here's Elliott Scott. Doe sets up Sayambola. Great play by Vickery to dive out. And another great save there by Vickery. Sets up Resnick, and what a score. My goodness. Now serving is Anna Doe. And Sayamola's going to tip it. Lee Scott looked like they were going to be able to get that one back over. Were unable to do so. Timeout now is called by Lee Scott Academy. We're going to step away here for a second, and we'll be right back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live with the end of set number 4.
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Welcome back to the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli between the Lady Vikings and Lady Warriors out of Lee Scott. Anna Doe with the serve. Doe sets up Ellie Jane Hagg. That one is hit over the net, but way out of bounds. And so Pacelli now closing in on their 22nd win of the season in just 24 games. Up 23-20 now. Doe trying to finish it. And that one's blocked. Whistle is blown. One of the Lee Scott Academy players hit the net, it looks like. That's a tough injury there. There's Resnick. She gets right back up, being helped off, though. While she's being helped off, we are going to take a Jack Houston Memorial Hospital injury timeout. We'll be right back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
At Jack Houston Memorial Hospital, our focus is you. Even though we performed more than 1,300 joint replacements last year, we treat you like you are our only patient. Your surgeon explains your joint replacement, so nothing is a surprise. Our team knows your treatment plan, and we work together to get you back on your feet again. That's why our hospital is recognized year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality.
And we're back. 24-20 is the score here in set number 4. Pacelli looking to finish it. Lee Scott keeps that alive, clears it. Doe sets up Hagg, and that's gonna be the final point of set number 4 and the final point of the game. Pacelli takes this one 3-1. What an exciting game of the week at the Beck Center here at Pacelli on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We are going to name our Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the Game, Shannon Menifee. Congratulations, Menifee. This win is now going to move Pacelli to 22-2 on the season, and Lee Scott is now 9-4. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Beck Center Game of the Week at Pacelli. Thank you again to our presenting sponsors at Glenn Smith Chevy GMC, Coca-Cola, Kinetic Credit Union, and Houston Clinic. For Georgia Alabama Sports Live, I'm Paxton Holloway, and we'll see you next time.